Hello friends, in this video we will see how to encapsulate component styles. Angular applications are styled with standard CSS. That means you can apply everything you know about CSS style sheets, selectors, rules and media queries to Angular applications. Additionally, Angular can bundle component styles with components, enabling a more modular design than regular style sheets. Using component styles. For every Angular component you write, you may define not only an HTML template but also the CSS styles that go with that template, specifying any selectors, rules and media queries that you need. One way to do this is to set the styles property in the component metadata. The styles property takes an array of strings that contains CSS code. Now in the screenshot above, you can see inside the component decorator, we have specified styles property and we have passed an array of CSS styles. Currently we have specified only single style inside that, which is going to make the table header in italics. The selectors you put into component style apply only within the template of that component. The t-head selector in the preceding example applies only to the t-head tag in the template of playerlist component. Any t-head elements elsewhere in the applications are unaffected. This is a big improvement in modularity compared to how CSS traditionally works. You can use the CSS class names and selectors that make the most sense in the context of each component. Class names and selectors are local to the component and don't collide with classes and selectors used elsewhere in the application. Changes to styles elsewhere in the application don't affect the component style. So in short, whatever you style define for a particular component, that will impact template of that component itself. It will not impact the same selector in any other template. So let's go to our application and see how to use styles property to define CSS. Now this is playerlist.component.ts file, which is responsible for rendering a grid on the UI. Now what we are going to do is we are going to make the table header of this grid in italics. So let's do that. So I have to specify styles property which accepts an array of styles. So I'm going to set the table header to font style italic. If I go to UI, you can see the table headers are in italic. Now as it is an array, you have to specify comma and you can specify any other CSS style. So I want my div, so this entire grid is in div, so I want the text inside this div to be of font family Comic Sans MS. So I'll set the font family of entire div to Comic Sans MS. So now you can see the font family of the grid has changed. So this is how you can use styles property to set the style for a particular template. Let's move forward. Loading styles into components. There are following ways to add styles into components. So first way is by setting styles and style URLs metadata. And second way is inline in the template HTML. So we'll see styles in the metadata. So in styles in the metadata, you can specify styles by two ways. Either by setting the styles property or by using the style URLs metadata. So using the styles property, so we have already seen how to add a styles array property to the component decorator. Each string in the array defines the CSS. The second type or second way is using style URLs property. We can load the styles from the external CSS files by adding a style URLs property into a components decorator. So as you see in the screenshot, we have specified style URLs property and we are passing a path of a CSS file. Now this property also takes an array of file paths. So basically you can refer multiple CSS files to this property. The CSS styles will be used from files specified in the style URLs array. So let's try this as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an CSS file corresponding to this template. So this component belongs or linked to playerlist.html. So I'm going to create a style sheet file inside player folder. and I'm going to name it as similar to our linked template file, that is player list.css. And inside this I'm going to define the same CSS we have used in our styles property. Okay, and I'm going to define one more CSS so that it is verified that the styles have been applied from style URLs property, and that change will be I want the color to be green for all the text inside grid. Now I'm going to remove the styles property and I'm going to use style URLs property, which needs an array, and I'm going to specify the path of our newly added CSS file. Now if I go to the UI, you can see the styles have been applied and the color of text in the grid is in green color. So that says that it is referring the file which we have created, and we have referred the file using style URLs property. Let's move forward. Now there are few more ways by which you can specify styles in your component. So that way is those ways are template inline styles and template link tags. We can embed styles directly into HTML template by putting them inside style tags. This is similar to what we do on the HTML or MVC view. And in the template link tags, we can also embed link tags into the component's template HTML. So let's do that. So these template link tags and template HTML, so these ways are useful when you have implemented inline template, but in our case we have used template URL to link it to a file. So let's comment this for instance and remove the styles URL as well, as we do not need now. And I'm going to specify a inline template. Inside this template I'm going to render a paragraph element saying this is player list component, and I'm also going to specify style for my paragraph inside style tags. So I will specify its color to be red. So now we will see a paragraph element red in color on the UI. So this is how you can specify style tags in the template HTML itself. There's one more way. So that way is basically, instead of the style tags, you can link this inline template to a CSS file, and that using link tag. And then I have to specify the path from where it has to refer the CSS, that is app/player/ name of the file. Okay, now if I go to UI, you'll see the CSS has not applied because we have defined CSS for anything which is inside div. So I have to enclose this paragraph inside a div, then we'll see the changes. So you can see the font family of paragraph has changed to Comic Sans and its color changed to green. So this is how you can use template inline styles and template link tags to specify style for that template. So this is all about how to style your components. Thank you friends.